All right, guys, today's video is going to be a little bit of an update about some of the current events for Tropical Haunts, some of the gear we purchased, and some content ideas. So a little bit more of that, just a sec. All right, guys, welcome back. All right, so I wanted to share some things with you today. Basically focused around content, scheduling of content, and some of the new gear that I purchased and working on the studio, my home studio. So we'll start with content. I never really explained to you guys what my schedule for content is. I like to do content. I like to do location on the weekends because I have a full-time job, and so that's priority, of course. And then I like to edit and then publish on a Monday, Tuesday, somewhere in there. So that's basically what I would like to do. That's my schedule. Now there are some obstacles to that, of course. I mentioned work, and I do live in South Florida, so there's the weather in the summertime is just dismal. And with the rain and humidity and all that, it's not really ideal to bring your equipment out in a rainstorm, nor 1,000% humidity. So anyway, but ideally that's what I'd like to do. That's what my schedule I like to keep. I don't typically do desktop content because I know you don't subscribe to listen to me sit at my desk and talk. So we're not gonna do that. But now we're gonna move on to some equipment and my intentions for future content. Now in the past we've gone to these locations. Some of these places supposedly very haunted, and one could argue that a cemetery would be ripe for a haunting or spirits. So what I did is I started thinking, I was like, man, I'm really interested in both the historic aspect of these locations plus the paranormal investigation of it. So I figured, why can't we do both? So I purchased some equipment, and you saw a couple pieces of it at the cemetery, the abandoned cemetery. So I bought a kit. That was just 2 pieces of it. I have the kit here. I want to show you the box real quick. Now, I got this from the Ghost Stop, which is in Florida. It's at St. Cloud, Florida, which I believe is south of Orlando, but it's up in that area, Central Florida. It's very cool. It's got a digital recorder in here. I've got some extra lights. I also have a cool wristwatch in here. Now, if you guys are interested in seeing the entire box and the equipment and explanation of what it does in a sort of like a demo, let me know. Put it in a comment, and I'll do it for you because this thing is very cool. What's in here? I do want to show you one more thing before I put the box up. My good friend of mine gave me a rosary, and I put it inside the box. I actually attached that to my box. So when I open and close the box, my rosary is right there. So I thought that was very, very cool. So now I'm into arts and crafts as well as video exploration. So I bought the gear. I also bought this. I'm going to show you this. So I have it out. I bought this. It's a little remote camera, POV. They call it POV, point of view camera. It can be done remotely. It hooks to an app. It has IR. It has UV. It's very cool. Has a lot of potential. A lot of people like to use it like a remote. They put it in a place where they think is a lot of activity, and they just leave it there and let it record. I was thinking about putting it on my head and getting like a dual perspective when I do my locations, but we'll see how that works out. So that's the gear that I purchased, and so all depending on accessibility, the time that I have in these locations, what I can use, how I can use it, but basically the EMF and the spirit box we can use just about any time of day in any of my locations that we think have a potential for some activity. So anyway, so that's kind of the overview of the content. Now I did buy a drone. Now the drone is challenging for me, I would say. I found that I'm not the best drone pilot. I could do a checklist of the things that I have flown into, but just briefly it includes buildings, mailboxes, citrus trees, house cats, and almost a vehicle. But I've avoided that. So I'm still practicing with that. I am going to include that in my videos. Hopefully, if it doesn't fly off into space or crash into and destroy it. So I do have a drone. And lastly, I just want to talk briefly about the studio. Now, when I first started this, I didn't really have a space to do videos, set up my camera, microphones, anything. It was just a lapel mic and me shooting from the hip. So I've been working on having me a real space, some set microphones, and you can see I'm putting the acoustic tiles on the walls. And I was very delusional when it came to how many I was going to need. And I bought a very small piece of it, but I put it on the wall and I was like, man, that's not going to do it. So it's going to take me a little while to cover the entire wall. So that's what I'm working on. And I've placed my studio tables and I've made my equipment. And you guys can leave a comment and see, let me know how the sound actually sounds now, because I have some tiles in here. And I was hoping for a warmer, a little warmer sound, and not sound like I'm in a garage or a can or anything. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to babble on too long, but I just wanted to kind of give you an update of what was going on and what my intentions were. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them. And any of the videos I get notifications if you get it. So please share with your friends. Take care of yourselves. I know there's a pandemic going on. I want everyone to be healthy and be good to each other, take care of one another. And that's all I got for today. So we'll see you on the next one.